We begin with news tonight that the opposition this afternoon used the Senate to step up the pressure on Prime Minister Andrew Holness to fire his Energy Minister Dr. Andrew Wheatley amid the unfolding scandal at the state-run oil refinery Petrojam.
This follows criticism in the public arena that the Prime Minister seems reluctant to hold Mr. Wheatley responsible for the developments at Petrojam. TVJ's Vashon Brown was in the upper house today.
It was a debate on a resolution to extend the state of emergency in the St. Catherine North Division, but it was clear the opposition was not ready to let go of the Petrojam issue. Opposition Senator Lambert Brown reminded senators of the stance taken by the then opposition leader Andrew Holness in 2013 when former State Minister Richard Azan was embroiled in a scandal surrounding the illegal construction and renting of shops at the Spaldings Market in Clarendon. He said at that time, Mr. Holness felt Richard Azan took too long to resign.
And Jamaica alone has continued to have said that it's far greater indictment on the Prime Minister in keeping Azan in her cabinet, and Azan was in the cabinet, and giving the green light to her ministers that they can act in ways that breach public trust and faith and retain their position in the government. He continued, in effect, the Prime Minister is now sitting over a corrupt government.
He did not stop there.
Where is this Andrew Holness?
A point of order.
Where is this Andrew Holness?
There is a point of order. Mr. President, I have heard my colleague remarking about an administration in the past, a PNP administration, and I don't think the remarks speaking about the corruption or discussions of corruption of a past PNP administration relate to the state of emergency. He's straying from the topic.
The Senate President, Tom Tavares Finson, ruled that Mr. Brown should stick to the state of emergency resolution, but Mr. Brown insisted that his points were connected to the resolution, since there is a link between corruption and crime.
Wakandaism must go. It is time for the Prime Minister to fire Andrew Wheatley for his loss of public trust. That's what is needed, because otherwise the Prime Minister will be seen as being living in a different skin from the one he was in 2013. When I listened to him on Tuesday night, finding excuses.
Mr. President, again, another point of order. I was hoping, Mr. President, that my colleague senator was finished, and I heard him take a breath. But clearly the inhale led to another exhale of things which have nothing to do with what is before us. I understand his concerns. There are concerns that we have shared. But this today is not about that.
The Senate President again intervened.
I asked you before to stick to the relevance as it relates to the question of the motion before you. I asked you once, I'm going to ask you again to do it so that I don't have to intervene otherwise.
I would be benefited in my decision making if the Prime Minister shows courage, show good character in firing the Minister of Energy, who has refused to resign. My concern, Mr. President, is that the Prime Minister comes across to the country as weak and indecisive, and that Wakandaism is alive and well in the government.
There have been allegations of financial mismanagement and corruption at Petrojam. Anti-corruption watchdog National Integrity Action yesterday called for Dr. Wheatley to resign or for Mr. Holness to fire him. Vashon Brown, TVJ News.